We start with everything being hella awkward now that the voices in Locke's head told him to let Ben out, and yes, Danielle has totally been here the whole time. We didn't just manage to get Mira Furlan back, why would you ever think that? Locke brings Miles in, finally letting us know he hasn't had a grenade stuck in his mouth for a month real time. He tells everyone that the boat is here for Ben, but they can't just turn him in because they also have orders to kill everyone else once they have him. And whose word do we have on that? Ben, who certainly has no reason to be less than truthful about this, does he? Claire, not being an idiot, brings up how Ben isn't exactly trustworthy and even tried to kill Locke, but then the writers make Hurley bring up the spy so Ben can say it's Michael because there's no way they can answer that other thing without exposing how artificial this whole setup is. Sawyer is nice enough to give us the whole backstory for the maybe 2 people and a dog who just started watching the show this season.
You mean the same guy that killed 2 women in cold blood to set this little bastard free? And then sold all of us out so he could get off the island? That Michael?
At least he gives the backstory we're supposed to think it is now. You may recall that the situation was just a wee bit more complicated than that, but these writers can't even handle basic right and wrong most of the time, so do you really think they're going to try for any complex morality here? So suddenly Michael's just the bad guy, and we're supposed to just not think at all beyond that. Well, I'm sorry, I refuse to comply. Sawyer calls Locke on saying there wouldn't be secrets and then keeping the one about Miles helping them for the money he wanted. He tries to weasel out of it, but then Miles says of course Ben will be able to get it to him.
He wants to survive. And considering a week ago you had a gun to his head and tonight he's eating pound cake, I'd say he's the guy who gets what he wants.
Just another case of the new people pointing out how stupid everyone else is. Thanks for that. Ben gives Alex and Carl a map to a place called the Temple where they'll be safe until this blows over. Carl naturally asks why they shouldn't just take everyone there.
Because the Temple's not for them, Carl. It's only for us.
We're the good guys, Michael.
And Carl actually accepts that because, like everyone else who didn't come off the boat, he is an idiot. Speaking of the boat, Sayid and Desmond are able to get Michael alone, and he starts spouting the usual bullshit about how he can't explain anything, and they wouldn't understand, but by now Sayid has had quite enough of that kind of thing, and tells him to just talk. Why is he not the main character? So the story begins. Michael tries to kill himself over the guilt of killing Ana Lucia and Libby by crashing his car. Oh yeah, that's a guy who killed people in cold blood. He Ethan Fromes it and only puts himself in the hospital where he has a dream about Libby. Hey, look at that, they were actually able to get Cynthia Watros to come back on the show after firing her due to their own incompetence, and that's if you believe the official version. What a great opportunity to explain that shot of her in the nut house with Hurley, which of course the episode zooms right on by. He goes to see his mother after he gets out, which is where Walt is staying. She's pretty upset about him being inexplicably alive and refusing to answer any questions, but he has told Walt about what he did to get them out, so now Walt is refusing to see him. So he goes right back to trying to kill himself, except Tom stops him and says Ben needs his help.
Why would I help the son of a bitch who kidnapped my son?
We gave him back to you in one piece, Mike. You're the one who lost him.
Yeah, and you're the one who took him, so what's your point? For now, he just tells Michael that, and I quote, the island won't let him die because it still needs him to do something. So we're back to that crap, huh? Michael goes home where he sees the report of the wreckage, so then he goes to see Tom. And that's where we get this.
Arturo, Michael and I have some business we have to attend to. Did you get some air?
Of course. Ciao.
Help yourself to the chow. Don't make it to the mainland too often, so when I do, I like to indulge myself.
Now, like I said back in the Season 3 premiere, at the moment when Tom told Kate she wasn't his type, everyone knew he was gay. That's always what that line means on TV. And yet they're making this huge deal about revealing it after he's dead. What the hell is the freaking point? He's dead! And spoilers, he's not coming back. Not even in more flashbacks or dreams or as a ghost or anything. This is MC Gainey's last appearance on the show. At first I actually thought this was setting up a story where his boyfriend would want revenge against Sawyer, but no, he never appears again either. This isn't quite the cop-out that the reveal about Dumbledore was, since at least it appeared in the show itself, but it's not far off. Anyway, Tom explains that it was actually Widmore who staged the wreck so no one else would find the island, and gives him a job on the boat so he can kill everyone. Then we get the obligatory parade of dead people as he gets on the boat, where he also learns a special crate has been put on board for him. And see if you can figure this one out. There were clearly 2 helicopters on the boat since Naomi crashed one, and yet there's still one being used, but there's only one on the landing pad. I get that they might have wanted to save on the budget, but then why show us this angle at all? Michael finds that there's a bunch of C4 inside the crate, and then Libby pops up again and tells him not to do it before disappearing again. This is never explained. Even if it is Hillary, what does he care about this? And then they actually try to build up suspense about whether he's going to blow up the boat despite, the entire freaking season up to this point. I have no clue what they thought they were doing here. He does push the button, but it turns out the bomb is a fake and Ben was just screwing with his head for the pure fun of it.
We're the good guys, Michael.
And then he calls Michael, giving his name as Walt just to mess with him some more, and as despicable as that is, here's what he says next.
There are people on your boat who are innocent.
They have no idea that the man they work for is a monster.
A killer without conscience or a greater purpose. I had to show you the difference between him and me. When I'm at war, I'll do what I need to do to win, but I will not kill innocent people.
I could go on a big rant about this, but what would be the point? I've said it all before. What I will do is hold on to this clip for a certain event in the season finale. Trust me, this is going to be good. Ben tells Michael to wreck the radio room and the engines like we saw before, and the story ends. And Saeed promptly turns him into Galt and explains everything. I love this guy. And then Keamy and his guys kill Carl and Danielle. Yes, it really is that sudden and pointless. Hope you didn't get too attached to the idea of Danielle being reunited with her daughter, because that was all you get. Okay, the real reason this happened was because Mira Furlan finally got fed up enough to cut ties with the show for good, but they still could have done far better by the character than this.
Wait, don't! I'm Ben's daughter! I'm his daughter!
My score for Meet Kevin Johnson is 8 out of 10. Harold Perrineau reminds us of what a great actor he is as he continues to play up Michael's horrible guilt over what he did, even as the script does everything it can to convince us he's nothing but an irredeemable murderer. Spending most of the episode on him actually lets the story breathe and feel like a real story, instead of people doing random things because the plot needs them to. And of course there's Saeed's big moment at the end, which I still cheered for when rewatching it. Too bad about the ending, but this is mostly a great recovery for the season.